Thank you.
My question was, I've been studying reparations. Like the Native Americans get reparations, the Jewish get reparations from Germany, and the Japanese actually get reparations also from World War II. I was wondering, is it too far along for us to try to come together and demand reparations?
No, we can get it. Couple issues. Issue number one, unlike all the other groups you named who've received reparations, we're probably the only group to go through a Holocaust and have members of the victim group argue against receiving reparations. So you have just as many black folk who say we need to forget about slavery and move on, and the white man don't owe us anything. So part of the reparations fight is you have to fight black people who say we don't need the reparations. Point number two is we have to also recognize that reparations are given to nations, okay, not to populations of citizenry within a nation. That is to say that in order for us to get reparations, we have to disidentify as from being Americans on some level, because reparations are given to nations. So we have to recognize that we are prisoners of war and victims of white supremacy. Because in order to win the reparations battle, we have to take it to the world court, not America's courts. If you take it to America's courts, then you're admitting that America has jurisdiction over you. Take it to the world court as a population of Africans in exile. So it must be fought on the international level. The third issue with reparations is what we are actually demanding as payment. One of the concerns I have with the current reparations struggle is I've heard a lot of talk about dollar amounts. I'm concerned about dollar amounts because the dollar isn't worth much itself. And if we accept a financial payout, that's a setup. Why is that a setup? Because we don't have any infrastructure. So if black folk was given $2 million apiece with no financial infrastructure, all that money goes right back to white folks tomorrow. Which is why I believe that there are white people who are praying harder than you for black people to get reparations. Oh, y'all following me? Because they know the money comes right back to them. I believe that those in the reparation struggle should build infrastructure first to include these banks so we can trap the wealth in the hood. Otherwise, it becomes an economic stimulus package for white folk. And the last thing I'll say on it, too. Number one, I don't like the way we conceptualizing the reparations fight. Everybody benefited from African enslavement. So all guilty parties should be named in the lawsuit, not just America. What about the Arab countries of North Africa who still trade slaves today? Why haven't they been named? Why haven't the Roman Catholic Church been named as a guilty party? The British East India Company, the British West India Company. What I'm noticing is that some of these reparations personalities are afraid to indict all guilty parties. And we have to make sure we understand that we only get one shot at this reparations piece. It has to be done right. Money should not be on the list. Why? Because money runs out. And the benefit to America of the forced enslavement and labor of black folk can never run out. As long as there is an America, they benefit from the forced labor of our ancestors. So whatever we receive as payment, likewise, should never run out. So whether that's black folk never paying taxes, whether that's black folk controlling certain natural resources, whether that's black folk that have total control over certain land masses, certain waterways, whatever we get must be something that can never expire with time. Money runs out. And if we put money as the payment, that's a setup. Last thing, there must be internal reparations before there can be external reparations. There's work that we must do as a people that the white man cannot fix. He started it, but he can't solve it. He started self-hate, but he can't solve self-hate. He started the petty differences, but he can't solve the petty differences. So there's a lot we have to work on together because the internal must precede the external. If you get the external before we fix the internal, that money won't help. It'll become a greater hindrance to our unity.